Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So in this tutorial, we're going to continue with our C++ series. We're going to put what you have learned in the last tutorial about parameters into practice, into more further practice. So in this tutorial, we're going to print out a program. We're going to write out a program that is going to tell us if a word is a palindrome or not a palindrome. So if you don't know what a palindrome is basically a word that reads the same whether you read it from the back to the front or from the front to the back. For example, mom, noon, soul, civic, radar, all of these are palindromes because they sound the same whenever you read it from backwards or from forwards. Okay, so let me just explain to you the logic that we'll be using to check if a number is palindrome or not. So I have this slide here. I have a string called data, and it has its room. Okay, so this actually is supposed to have double quotes. So this should be just have some double quotes. I'll try to fix that and make this huge, so this should be double quotes here. Okay, so a string has four characters, right? So n, double O, and then n. So each character has its own index. So we start counting from 0. So C++ has 0 based indexing. So the index for n is 0, the index for first O is 1, the index for the second O is n, and then the index for the third O is 3. Okay, so what we want to check is that if this is equals to this is equals to this, and then we iterate through all of the characters to check if the character at the front matches the character position at the back. If the character position at the front matches the character position at the back, then this is a palindrome. Okay, for example, let me just bring it back here. For example, mama, right? We want to check if okay, this is actually not a palindrome, my bad. So it's actually supposed to be just is not a palindrome, so I'll just get rid of this. Sorry for that mistake. So mom is a palindrome, right? So I want to check if m is the same as m. If the m here is the same as the m at the back, then that will be a palindrome. Even this, because it will be m or m is the same as m or n, right? So for example, even here I want to check if this and these are the same, if this and these are the same. If those are the same, the character that are 1, they don't make a difference. Okay, so you want to check if C is the same as C, if this I is the same as this I, this V, it will not make any difference because it will always be in the middle. Okay, the same applies to solo. So that's what we want to do. So write in an if statement to check that. So we want to get the length, or to get the character at the back position. What to do? We take the length of the string. For example, this is 4, right? So the length of the string is 4, which is specified by this length, minus I. At the initial point, I will be 0. So I, which is 4, minus 0, which is 0. 0 minus 1 is 3. So that will be index 3. So we are comparing this and this. And then this will be equal. And then we move to the second index. So put this in a for loop, right? So if the second iteration, I will be 1, right? Index 1. So check if the length, which is 4 minus 1, it will be 3. 3 minus 3, 1 again, it will also be 2. So we're checking if this and this are equal. If all of them are equal within our loop, then that will be a palindrome. Okay, so now let's just implement this in Atom and you'll be able to understand better. Okay, so let me just go ahead and actually, I have a helper function called lower. This function just helps me to convert a character into a lowercase, because for example, if I have a word like this, moon, just like this, mom, just like this. Now this is not equals to the mom of this, because this is uppercase, the first n is uppercase, and this is lowercase. So to do that, to make sure that our program works for all cases, we have to convert everything to lowercase. That's what this helper program is going to do. So don't worry about it that much. You can just pause the video and type this into your editor. Okay, I assume that you've already done that, so let's just continue. So in here, I'm just going to provide a program. The void is just going to be a void. So I'm just going to call it palindrome, just like this, and you're going to take in a string. So string, and you're going to call it data, just like this. Okay. So let me go ahead and actually import that C library in here. So just say include, and then we'll say C string this way. So down here we can come and define that function. So I'll just copy this and I'll move down here and define that specific function of palindrome. Okay, so now that you have done that, just bring this up here. So this function, what it's going to do is going to go into a for loop. So for first we need to calculate the size of the integer. So we just say int let's call it len, which will be equals to data, that size. So if you haven't watched my video on string manipulation, you can go back and refer to that video. We went over this method. Okay, so we're going to go to the for loop. So for int I is 0, okay, is 0, while I is less than the length, we're simply going to do I plus plus, and then in here what you're going to do is that you're going to check if our data, use the square bracket notation, I is not equals to our data, the length minus I minus 1. If this is not so, then this is actually a palindrome. So we're going to say, we're going to simply say, let's create a boolean value here. We're going to change that boolean value from true to false. So it's going to say bool flag. So we're going to flag this. So we're going to say this is actually a true. So you say this will by default to be false. Okay. So if that happens, just say flag flag equals to true. True, just like this, and then you're going to break out of the statement, because if one of the characters at the back and the front don't match any other, they're in the same position, then that is obviously not a palindrome. So you're simply going to break. That's all. So we're going to write an if statement. If, so this should be outside of this loop. Okay, so we're going to do if flag, right? If flag is either true or false. If it's true, we're going to simply do a cout saying palindrome, just like that, and you're going to end that line. Okay, and then else, we're going to write an else statement, and you're going to do a cout saying this is not palindrome. Okay, just like that, and then we'll end that line. So I just type that right, so end a specific line. That's all our program is going to do. So it's going to take in an input, and then it will iterate through and check if the character at the position 1 matches its corresponding character at the position at the back end. If that is true, then flag will be false. Flag will be so I made a mistake, so this should just be if not palindrome. Okay, so if this is false, mean that if this is by default it will be true. So what I can do instead, not to confuse you guys, I'll just cut this and I'll paste it here, and I'll cut this and I'll paste it here, and I make sure I get rid of that negator. So now we have that there. So if it's a palindrome, it will be the flag will be true, then we simply print not palindrome. Okay, also print is a palindrome. Okay, that's what you're going to do. So let's call the function and then try it out. So let's bring this up here and then give this a bit of space, and then we'll call our palindrome function here, palindrome, and I'll pass in maybe none. Okay, none, and then I'll call that function just like that, and then I'll save and compile and run the code. If I didn't make any errors, everything should work fine. Okay, so this should return to us this is a palindrome, and I'll make this huge, and you can see that this is exactly a palindrome. So if I change this to be even this is a palindrome, so if I run this should also return to me true. This is also a palindrome, right? So I'll bring this here and make it huge. You can see we have that as also being a palindrome. So now let's try something that is not a palindrome. Obviously in the beginning I made a mistake. I said this was a palindrome. We can run this, and you can see that this is actually not a palindrome, and you can see it's here, not a palindrome. Okay, so now before we do this, let's try to find the lower case of that. So we're going to call our lower function. The lower function is simply just going to return a string, so lower, and then you're going to pass in any string, for example this. Okay, let's call passing there, and then this should not be a palindrome. So I made an error, so I'll type in none again, or let's type in solo. Solo is also a palindrome, right? Solos, and then compile and run this again. They should also say this is a palindrome. So we can bring this here, and we can see we have that saying it is a palindrome. Okay, so that's how we can check for palindrome in C++. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. If it was, please kindly consider subscribing to this channel and giving this video a thumbs up. So thanks for watching. See you in the next tutorial. Keep safe.